Many times throughout her life, Sally Field found herself staring at a small collection of unopened letters from her father, each one carrying echoes of a past she never quite felt ready to revisit. Some were written decades ago, preserved carefully as if holding on to them meant holding on to him. Even now, in her later years, those envelopes still stirred complicated emotions. Love, regret, curiosity, and longing wrapped together in silence. They represented not just words on paper, but a relationship shaped by distance and time. Behind Sally's public image as a celebrated actress stood a woman who had spent much of her life quietly making peace with unanswered questions. Her journey was never simply about awards or applause. It was about learning how to carry childhood uncertainty into adulthood with grace, how to keep moving forward even when parts of the past remained unresolved, and how to find meaning in both what was given and what was lost. Growing up, between two worlds, Sally Field was born on November 6, 1946, in Pasadena, California, into a family already navigating change. Her parents separated when she was young, leaving her to grow up between two very different environments. Her mother worked steadily as an actress, bringing creativity and ambition into Sally's world, while her father carried the discipline of military life. For a child, moving between these two realities created a sense of emotional imbalance. Stability felt temporary, and routines were often interrupted by shifting circumstances. Like many children of divorce in that era, Sally learned early how to adapt, observing adults closely, and developing an awareness beyond her years. Those formative experiences quietly shaped her sensitivity and empathy. Though she rarely spoke openly about those early days at the time, they planted seeds that would later influence both her personal outlook and her acting. Even then, she was learning resilience, discovering how to stay grounded while life rearranged itself around her. Searching for belonging at home. After her mother remarried, Sally entered a new chapter of family life that required adjustment and patience. Blended households can be complicated, especially for a young child trying to understand changing roles and expectations. Sally often felt caught between wanting approval and needing reassurance, emotions many children quietly carry. What she longed for most was consistency, a sense that she was truly seen and understood. During those years, she became inwardly reflective, learning to rely on her imagination and inner strength. Rather than expressing everything out loud, she processed much of her world privately, building emotional layers that would later become part of her artistic depth. These experiences didn't break her spirit. Instead, they shaped her ability to observe people closely and feel deeply. Even before she stepped onto a professional stage, Sally was developing the emotional awareness that would one day make her performances so authentic and relatable to audiences everywhere. Discovering acting as a safe haven. For Sally, acting began not as a pursuit of fame, but as a place of comfort. Performing allowed her to step into other lives, explore different emotions, and briefly leave behind her own uncertainties. In school plays and early auditions, she discovered something powerful. Storytelling gave her a voice. It offered structure when life felt unpredictable, and expression when words were hard to find. On set, she felt focused and present, absorbed in the rhythm of rehearsal and performance. Acting became her sanctuary, a space where vulnerability could be transformed into creativity. Each role taught her something new about human connection and emotional truth. What started as a simple opportunity gradually became a calling. Through performance, Sally learned how to channel her sensitivity into strength. It was there, under bright lights and behind scripts, that she first realized she could turn personal experience into something meaningful, not only for herself but for others watching. Training, discipline, and inner growth. In the early 1970s, Sally committed herself to serious training at the Lee Strasberg Actors Studio. Immersed in method acting, she explored emotional honesty and character depth with intensity. The process demanded vulnerability and patience, encouraging her to draw from real feelings while learning to stay grounded. Each class pushed her to understand herself better, both as an artist and as a person. This period wasn't glamorous. It was hard work filled with self-reflection and creative challenges. Yet Sally embraced it fully. She practiced tirelessly, studied scripts closely, and learned how to bring authenticity into every performance. Slowly, she felt her confidence returning, this time rooted in skill rather than popularity. These years reshaped her career path, allowing her to move beyond light-hearted roles and into more complex storytelling. Through discipline and dedication, she rebuilt herself from the inside out, preparing for opportunities that would soon redefine her place in Hollywood. Sybil and the power of emotional storytelling. Sally's dramatic breakthrough arrived in 1976 with the television film Sybil. The role demanded emotional range, sensitivity, and courage, and Sally approached it with deep commitment. Portraying such a complex character allowed her to showcase abilities audiences had never seen before. The performance resonated widely, earning critical praise and her first Emmy Award. For Sally, it was more than professional recognition. It was validation of her decision to start over. The project reminded her that meaningful storytelling can illuminate human experience and foster empathy. She poured herself into the role, balancing intensity with care, and emerged stronger for it. Sybil marked a turning point, opening doors to serious film opportunities and reshaping how the industry viewed her. It also reaffirmed her belief that vulnerability can be a source of strength. Through this work, Sally discovered how deeply art can connect people and how personal growth often mirrors creative achievement. Norma Ray and a defining Oscar moment. Just a few years later, Sally starred in Norma Ray, portraying a determined woman standing up for fairness in her workplace. The role demanded grit, emotional honesty, and quiet strength, all qualities Sally had cultivated over time. Her performance was widely praised, capturing both resilience and compassion. In 1980, she received her first Academy Award for Best Actress, a moment that symbolized years of perseverance. Standing on that stage, Sally wasn't just accepting a trophy. She was honoring every risk she had taken and every doubt she had faced. The recognition confirmed her place among Hollywood's most respected performers. More importantly, it affirmed that choosing growth over comfort had been worth it. Norma Ray became one of her most iconic roles, reflecting her own journey of finding her voice. It was a reminder that meaningful success often comes after periods of uncertainty, and that authenticity leaves a lasting impact. Balancing career and personal life. While her professional life flourished, Sally's personal journey brought its own lessons. She married young and became a mother, welcoming 2 sons while navigating the demands of a growing career. Parenthood grounded her, offering purpose beyond film sets and award ceremonies. Like many working parents, she learned how challenging it can be to balance ambition with family life. Over time, her first marriage came to an end, teaching her that relationships evolve and sometimes take different paths. Through it all, Sally remained deeply devoted to her children, prioritizing their well-being even during busy seasons. Later relationships brought both joy and reflection, helping her understand herself more clearly. Each chapter taught her something about love, boundaries, and resilience. Rather than viewing changes as failures, Sally treated them as opportunities for growth. Her family remained her anchor, reminding her that real success is measured not only in achievements, but in connection and care. finding stability and renewed purpose. In 1984, Sally married producer Alan Greisman, and together they welcomed her youngest son. This period brought a sense of steadiness and shared commitment to family. Though life continued to evolve, Sally cherished the moments of togetherness, building routines that centered around her children. As years passed, the marriage eventually transitioned into a respectful separation, reflecting how people can grow in different directions while still honoring what they shared. Sally approached this change with maturity and gratitude, focusing on co-parenting and maintaining harmony. Motherhood remained her greatest source of fulfillment. Watching her children become adults brought pride and perspective, and later, becoming a grandmother added a new layer of joy. These family milestones reminded her that life is made of seasons, each with its own beauty. Through every transition, Sally carried forward a sense of compassion, learning that stability often comes from within rather than from circumstances alone. A life-changing close call. In 1988, Sally experienced a moment that deeply reshaped her outlook on life. While traveling with her family, a private plane encountered serious trouble shortly after takeoff. Though everyone survived with minor injuries, the experience left a lasting impression. In those intense moments, Sally's focus narrowed to what mattered most: her loved ones. The incident became a powerful reminder of how fragile life can be and how quickly priorities become clear. Afterward, she found herself reevaluating work commitments and embracing a slower pace when possible. The experience strengthened her appreciation for everyday moments, from simple family dinners to quiet mornings at home. Rather than living in fear, she chose gratitude. This close call encouraged her to be more present, to say yes to meaningful experiences, and to let go of unnecessary pressures. It reinforced her belief that time with family is precious, and that life's greatest treasures are often found in ordinary days. Embracing health and self-care. In later years, Sally became more attentive to her physical well-being after learning she had low bone density. She approached the news proactively, choosing education and lifestyle changes over worry. Through balanced nutrition, movement, and mindful habits, she focused on staying strong and active. She also began speaking publicly about bone health, encouraging others, especially women, to prioritize preventive care. Sally viewed this chapter not as a limitation, but as an invitation to treat her body with greater kindness. Yoga, walking, and plant-forward meals became part of her routine, helping her maintain energy and mobility. Her openness inspired many to take charge of their own wellness. Rather than hiding challenges, she shared them thoughtfully, showing that aging can be approached with confidence and curiosity. For Sally, self-care became another form of resilience, proving that listening to your body and adapting with grace can lead to renewed vitality at any stage of life. Advocacy beyond the screen. As her career matured, Sally increasingly used her voice to support causes close to her heart. She became active in conversations around equality, environmental responsibility, and women's rights, believing that public platforms carry responsibility. Advocacy gave her a sense of purpose beyond acting, allowing her to contribute to positive change. She approached these efforts thoughtfully, emphasizing compassion and dialogue. Supporting her children and standing by their journeys also became an important part of her public life, reinforcing her belief in acceptance and understanding. Rather than separating her personal values from her professional identity, Sally blended them naturally. She showed that success doesn't end with awards. It grows through service. Her activism reflected the same sincerity she brought to her performances, grounded in empathy and lived experience. Over time, she became known not only for her roles on screen, but also for her integrity off it, reminding others that influence can be used to uplift and inspire. Writing in pieces and telling her truth. Sally's memoir, In Pieces, offered readers an intimate look at her life, written with honesty and reflection. Through its pages, she explored childhood memories, career milestones, and personal growth with remarkable openness. Writing the book became a healing process, allowing her to make sense of experiences that had shaped her. Rather than presenting a polished version of her story, she shared lessons learned through vulnerability and perseverance. Readers connected deeply with her candor, finding comfort in her willingness to speak about uncertainty and resilience. The memoir wasn't about perfection. It was about becoming whole, piece by piece. For Sally, putting her story into words was another way of honoring her journey and encouraging others to reflect on their own. The book reinforced her belief that every life holds both light and shadow, and that telling our stories can help bridge understanding between people, reminding us that we are never truly alone in our struggles. Finding peace. In simpler moments today, Sally Field enjoys a quieter rhythm of life, centered on family, reflection, and purposeful activity. Living away from constant spotlight, she treasures everyday pleasures, time with her grandchildren, walks in nature, and meaningful conversations. Fame no longer defines her sense of worth. Instead, fulfillment comes from connection and presence. She continues to choose projects thoughtfully, guided by curiosity rather than pressure. Looking back, she sees her journey not as a straight path, but as a series of lessons that shaped her character. Each chapter, whether joyful or challenging, contributed to the woman she is now. Sally embraces aging with grace, viewing it as an opportunity to deepen wisdom and appreciation. Her life today reflects balance, honoring the past while staying open to what lies ahead. In these quieter years, she has found something priceless, a sense of peace rooted in self-acceptance, gratitude, and the enduring love of family, a legacy of strength and authenticity. Sally Field's legacy extends far beyond memorable performances. It lives in her courage to evolve, her commitment to honesty, and her dedication to those she loves. From a childhood shaped by change to a career marked by reinvention, she consistently chose growth over comfort. Her story reminds us that success is rarely instant and never simple. It is built through patience,